Testing one, two, three. We are live. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you happen to be in this fine world. Thanks for joining me and spending a little bit of time discussing Splinterlands and what's happening. Probably on top of everybody's mind is the almost, or I would say imminent release of the pre-sale for Conclave Arcana, but there are a lot of different subjects we could talk about. Within Splinterlands. There's been so much going on that I'm kind of like, I don't know, I want to say stressed out, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit tired because there's just so many things going on within the game. And I've been focusing on land lately, which has left me deficient of DEC. And now, because of the Transact bridge going down in game last week, I'm DEC deficient going into the Conclave Arcana pre-sale. So we can talk about that and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's see who's here in chat. Crypto Beaver's here. Good morning. Thanks for dropping by. My question of the day is, what are your plans for the Conclave Arcana pre-sale? We can get into that and talk about, I mean, let's check. I haven't checked the what DEC is at, but DEC has been pretty close to peg, like as far as I know, for most of the week, last week and a half or so. And SPS has definitely been going up too. This last week, like I said, I wanted to buy some SPS. My usual, I don't want to call it strategy, but just typically what I do on a weekly basis is I buy some DEC and I buy some SPS and I stake the SPS. And I've been holding the DEC back, but I bought another 2 plots of land this last week, and I had to, get them up and running. So I had to use some DEC there. And I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and use it. And then I'll just get some more. But like I said, the bridge came down. And the various ways I have of actually buying SPS and DEC, I'm in a holding pattern because the buy takes 6 days to complete, and then I have to transfer it. And I just haven't found a better way. And I don't really want to beat a dead horse, so to speak, but I think this is one of those issues they really have to iron out. They've said that they are looking, they're working on getting some on-ramps, but I think that is a serious hurdle to getting a lot of new players into the game. And I'm even an old player, but the fact of the matter is, do I know how to buy SPS and DEC? Yeah, I did it back in the day, right? But I've used Transact for the last year and a half, and it has been so smooth and easy for me. I know it goes down from time to time, and some people have a poor opinion of it, but it makes it easy, right? Versus, jumping through all the hurdles for the other way. So I think that's an important thing. Either way, I am DEC deficient going into the Conclave Arcana pre-sale, which means I'll probably have to use credits, which I didn't really want to do. But since it's so close to peg, I don't know. It's give and take, tit for tat. Now, definitely if DEC was way below peg, then there would be a big argument for wanting to use DEC. But now, obviously, I want to use DEC to help DEC out in the big picture of things, right? But if I can't get it, I can't get it, right? So, okay, Crypto Beaver answers my question, says, for Conclave Arcana, the Beaver is going to, or has set aside 400,000 DEC for a mix of packs, hoping I can get my hands on a black foil. Nice, I think we all are. I have a bunch of DEC I could pull out of actually making, let's see here, making money. We talked about this last week with Splinter Trader. I could pull that out, but it's making such nice little dividends for me that I'm hesitant. I do plan on setting up past the pre-sale of Conclave Arcana. I'm going to open up a pack or two every week, just as a usual thing, and I might do it here on the stream. Who knows? But that's you might say, oh, it's just a pack or two, but yeah, it's a pack or two more than what I did for Rebellion, which I didn't buy very much of. So And I do have to take a look at land this week. In a video this week, I set up two new plots of land, and I have to check to see if they're completed building out or what. Crypto Beaver says SPS is at 0.014. Nice. Yeah, it keeps going up. Keeps going up. Nice. I anticipate that'll keep doing that until after Conclave Arcana pre-sale. Then who knows? All bets are off, right? It depends upon how well received the set is and all these different variables, different gameplay variables that they've come up with for the set, how people accept them and how the game changes. Because keep in mind, there's going to be a massive explosion in Modern. Modern is going to be so much different. I was just on Discord discussing with a few people and watching the discussion about this. I don't think people fully anticipate what's going to happen in Modern. It's going to be like somebody threw a hand grenade in a room and slammed the door, right? Because I fully feel that you're going to have the big dogs that you kind of know are going to push through to the top. They're going to buy 1,000 packs, build their decks, go in, and they're going to be playing at the top end, right? And then I think you're going to have some people that are going to buy packs just to resell the singles on the market to make a profit. Because as we know, at the very beginning of a set, that's the prime time to make money off of selling singles, right? Except for a few different little variables. Like, say, for instance, at the very beginning of the set, we really have just met the cards and don't know which ones are going to flesh out to be the best. You can kind of make some assumptions and say the epics and legendaries are going to be the best, right? But you know what I mean. But they're going to be people taking profits and rebuying packs, selling singles and stuff like that. Then you're going to just have your average players that are going to buy some packs and try to start building their decks. And you're going to see, in my take on it, you're going to see a lot more people playing in the lower leagues as Chaos Legion moves out of Modern, okay? And it is going to change things up completely. I don't even really think that, I don't know, everything remains to be seen, right? But I don't think that you might need as many liquidity bots as we previously had, because you're going to have a lot more actual players playing now. And you're going to have a certain percentage of people that say, wow, that's just too expensive for my blood. I'm just going to go ahead and play my old cards in Wild. And then you have to pay the Wild Pass, right? Whether you're using a bot or not. So, okay. I do need to check on my 2 new plots of land. Let's jump back into chat, see what's going on. Gathering the Magic says, good morning. So much going on in Splinterlands. I agree. I'm planning on spending 400,000 DEC as well. So you guys want to get that black foil chase card, right? Let's go over here to the page. I forget their names already, but you know what I'm talking about. Grammel the Hunger. $40 is the magic number for the Arcane Skinwalker, and 400 is the magic number for Grammel the Hunger, or 400,000 DEC, either way. So I do love these cards. I don't know how they're going to shake out as far as powers go and how they're going to be playing. I love the fact that you're going to be able to use these with the new summoners, and they are neutral because, I've said this a number of times. Neutrals, especially if you're brand new to the game, neutrals bring a lot of power to your deck when you're considering cards to buy, because you can play them in the largest majority of matches. So when I originally came into the game years ago, I figured that out, and it still hasn't changed. Now, you always have that one-off once in a while where you can't play neutrals. But other than that, I think these are great cards. I love the artwork too. You know, this Arcane Skinwalker, the face almost looks like a Joker-esque. You know that I don't want to say anime, but the Batman cartoon that was almost anime style, where the Joker face was just like that. I love it. But like I said, 40 and 400. And I was thinking about, I would like to get at least 2 arcane skinwalkers, one for each of my main accounts, or my main and my secondary account. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for the 400 to get the Grandma the Hunger, but I think that you will see that you will have people that will be dumping packs. They'll be buying packs up front. They will be reselling on the secondary market just so they can pump up their numbers for these cards, right? And I may be one of those people that just goes ahead and takes advantage of that secondary market and gets some good deals on those secondary packs, right? So, okay, Wibble's in the house with a big we, as always. Welcome. And Bananas is here. I never make any decisions until the very last minute. That is Bananas. You knew I was going to say that. I have to make decisions weeks in advance and then talk about them for 2 weeks on video and then continually change my mind. Blind Mage from the North is here. Welcome. Hello. A few packs and wait for the market. Yeah, you know, I do want to get my Arcane Skinwalker, at least a couple copies. I'm still thinking about Grandma the Hunger and whether I want to spend 400. I definitely will be scooping some packs on the secondary market, and I will be one of those people that probably buys a little bit of each type of pack. I was listening to Gathering the Magic talk about the gold foil packs, the arcane packs, the other night on the secondary town hall, which I didn't make it live because it was in the middle of the night and I was asleep. But I watched about half of it so far, and one of his main points is obviously he likes the gold foils. He's not going to play at the top level, so you get a few gold foils and you can be positioned to play, you know, in the silver to gold range type thing. But it also has the best black foil percentage of pulling. So there's a lot of different things to think about. I think it's very complicated in that show. They also talk about, Dave talked about the various numbers involved as far as, you know, here on the numbering of the cards. And if you're specifically looking for the numbers, how the drops go through all the number ones before the number twos start and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it, I would say go take a watch of it when you have time. Put it on when you're, you know, listen to it when you're doing something else, because it is over 2 hours long. Okay, let's jump back here. Okay, who else is here? Let's see here. Gathering says, working on my land market watch and see a card reveal today. Oh, nice. You have a card. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the Conclave Arcana. You know, I guess I got left out, you know, so got left out, didn't get invited. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I told him I was interested in doing it. In fact, I loved doing it last time, but looking forward to checking that out. Gathering says, goes on to say, I want to hold alchemy packs for a few months, but I know I won't be able to resist opening them. Yeah, I mean, that whole process was going through my mind when they released the information about how your percentages to pull black foils will actually go up over time, right? But it's interesting because people at the very beginning have that need and urge to open the packs to be able to play with them or sell them on the market, whatever you're going to do with them, right? And then as time wears along, we hit this time period where, like, especially in Rebellion, people had what they wanted, had what they were going to buy, and people were just buying a few packs here and there. Well, in this set, it's going to push that to the next level, because as time wears along, you're going to be able to see what black foils were pulled and what are still available. So you get to a point and you're like, oh, that extra good black foil legendary hasn't been pulled yet. We're at the end of the twos. Maybe I should buy 10 packs and then open them and try to get that. You know, we're going to be in that kind of situation. So I think it was a well-devised plan and probably took months to think about and bring to market as far as, encouraging purchasing and opening of the packs across the whole lifespan of the actual set, right? Not just right at the front, right? So I like that fact. Paul Taylor's here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Paul says, how much are you trying to bridge in? Oh, my standard approach has been buy $30 to $35 worth of SPS or DEC a week, and that's all I've been doing all along. As far as right now, I just have to think about it. But I think my whole point there is, and it's not just like I'm complaining about myself, my whole point is that whole process needs to be made easier for new players to onboard, right? Dwayne's in the house. Welcome, Dwayne. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering asks Dwayne, are you revealing a card today? Also, Dwayne says, I've acquired 3 million DEC and 300,000 more SPS this week. Nice. That's huge. That is huge. Hey, Jason B's in the house. The Jason B channel. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Happy Saturday. Banana says, now is a decent time to pick up some Rebellion cards. People are undercutting each other on the market on them right now. I'm over on land because I need to check out something. This is the land that I tried to, so it is a logging camp that I wanted to get up and running. Let's go ahead and feed the workers. This should be up and running now. I just had to go in and feed the workers. I did a video this week where I was trying to approach it from a new user's standpoint and show people how to actually set up a plot of land. So I set this one up. I found, I thought I was happy at 20 plots, but apparently I saw a deal and I couldn't pass it up. So I got this up and running. So now I have another logging camp going on in region number 1. I do have to check out, I'm not sure. I knew that was going to be ready, but we'll get back to chat here in a minute. I need to check out Ravenwood because I also had one over here. This is the one I actually went into and I rented cards to build the place out. So, and it is not fully staked out. Let's see here. Okay, so it's not done. I still have 2 days and 6 hours left on this one. So, but I actually just like rented some cards and threw it on there because I heard people talking about it on Discord. The possibility of it's rent some cards, some gold foil cards that have a decent amount of production points, throw them on there, and then after it's actually built out, I'll go ahead and go back and decide what cards to put on it. The downside to this is now you can't rent the cards on a daily basis. I had to rent them for a full season, but we'll see. I mean, it came out to be like 65 cents. I rented all those cards for like 65 cents. So please leave a like on the video. It pushes the likes, push the live stream out to the larger YouTube algorithm, tells people you're enjoying this chat. And also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Helps the channel out. Let's see here. Banana says, I just said that. Dwayne says, I have something to reveal, Gathering. Yeah, I'm surprised I got left out of that one. But I'm used to that. So Dwayne is going for a top spot. Would be nice if you could design your own card. Yeah, the Infidel card. That'd be fun. Would be like a ninja or something. Gathering says, sweet, we'll check it out. Gathering says, the team needs to make a content creator card mini set. We will get to create a card. That would be fun. The pre-sale is the only way to get those cards. Won't be in packs. Remember that. Yep. I understand. And it's nice. I like the fact that they're black foils. And as far as I know, you get them. And they said that black foils are max level. So when you get one, you don't have to, you pay $40, you're going to get a max level black foil. It's not like you just get one BCX like in the past, So I do like that. And you know, all things considered, I think $400 for this, it just depends upon how good of a card it is to play to me. One other thing we'll talk about, you know, they did talk about it in that show you guys did this last week, speaking to Gathering and Dwayne, but is these have 5 times, these basically have the same production power as beta cards. So they have 5 times the gold foil amount of production points. So that's another thing, because, you know, I thought, you know, you get one of these cards and it turns out to be, I don't want to say a dud, but if it turns out to be not as great playing as we thought, then throw it on land. Make some money off of it. Okay, back to chat. Merlin's Matrix is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Gathering says, I'm saying it here now for all to hear. When my wife and I open Conclave Arcana packs, she is getting a black foil. She is the lucky one. Yeah, I'm notorious for having poor pack opening. I don't want to say skills, but luck, I guess you would say. Random number generator. I do plan on opening some, but my focus is purely, not purely, but mainly still on land. Wibble says, oh, there's a card dropped in Tavern. Oh, really? Let me check over there and see what's going on. That's interesting. Let me pull this over here on screen. If you guys don't have Discord open, this is what they're talking about. Palifala Westlinath. Wow, that's a name and a half. It's got that kind of anime hair going on. I love the artwork. I love the artwork. Still not a big fan of the patterned background, but I love the artwork. Looks like a pretty powerful character, ranged character going on here with sneak. Ooh. Oh, check that out. It's got the, what you call it, the brain thing. Why do I not remember the name of that? I love that. That's another card with that. I have to go to Rebellion, Rewards, and go to Epics just to find out. Okay. Mimic. Okay, so that's what I love about Olivia the Brook. Now we have a different card with Mimic on it. This is going to be huge. Whoops. And they're both in life. You're going to have 2 Mimic cards in life. Wow. Imagine throwing those both in the same hand. Gathering says, shoot Blaze a message on Discord, and I'm sure he will send you a card review. You know, I replied to the thread earlier when we were all talking about it. So, Weird Mix is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. I haven't seen or talked to you in a while. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Paul Taylor says, you can send in 180K SPS from BSC right now on Monster Market if you want. Is Bronze Dragon showing a card today? No, I haven't had anybody contact me about that. Even, you know, I had replied that I wanted to do it again this time, but nobody's contacted me about it. That's why nobody contacted me about the show you all did the other night either. So it was pretty late, though. Paul Taylor says, how did you get left out? You normally have a document you have to fill out. Catherine says Blaze is sending me a card to reveal now. Really? Let me take this off the screen then. Well, should we do the reveal live on chat, or should I wait until after the video and do a separate video? Let me think about it for a minute here. Rainbow Dash is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. $400 for a pay-to-win card. Do you think it's really pay to win? I don't know. A lot of these cards, I guess the only people who know actually how much they're going to affect the game um, are the people that are testing them, right? And I haven't tested them. We've got 1 shield, 7 health, 3 speed. It costs 11 mana to get out on the board, 2 magic damage, 2 range damage, and 2 melee damage. It does work with the new summoners, which is one of the big reasons why I would probably like one of them, at least the Arcane Skinwalker, because they have that racial synergy they work with as well. Although they're neutral, so, you know, I don't know. I haven't found a reason for that. So they're neutral, but they can be pulled out with racial synergy, which really means neutrals can be used in most cases. And if you have a no neutral situation, I think they still couldn't be pulled out even with the racial synergy, right? So what's the point? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm probably missing something. So okay, let's go back to land. So we have some more chat going on. Yeah, so most of what I did this week was mess with 2 new plots of land. I found a deal that I just could not pass up. I'm up to 21 now. And like I said, this plot of land is, I need to mess with my energy. I think I'm overstaked in this land, so I can pull, or in this region, so I can pull out some DEC from the staking. I'm not sure though. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm just a little bit overstaked. I've been switching switching totems around and stuff. Like on that new plot of land I have in number 1, I had a totem that I switched off a common land in another region and switched it on to this one because it is a rare. So in this region I have 3 grain farms and 2 logging camps. Gathering says, I shut my land down to earn DEC on SPL Trader. Now I need to slowly send my profits back to get it back up and running. Yeah, I put a bunch of, I've had, let me check my spreadsheet. I've had stuff on SPL Trader for, since the end of January. Check the... Well, let's see here. This would be my balance as of yesterday. And let me go ahead and add that to my spreadsheet. So it's 279,868. So I've put 250,000 in, and the rest is just profit. So we're talking about, you know, since the end of January, almost 30,000 DEC in profit. So that's not too shabby. I mean, that's making a pretty good, pretty good return. But since then, since we've started talking about it on online, you know, in videos and on this live stream, more people have joined, and my share has gone down from, like, I was over 2%. Now I'm down to 1.61, even though I've added more. So it's going pretty well. And like I said, I haven't used any of the other abilities of SPL Trader to buy, sell, trade, whatever, other than just using the basic staking mechanism. So not investment advice, but I did want to keep track of it. So if I eventually do a dedicated video for it, then I can give some examples in my experience. I hate to jump into something new and then showing it on a video and then people start using it, even though I say not investment advice, and then it turns out to be a rug pull or something or other. So Dwayne goes on to say, shutting down land now seems like a mistake. With Black Foil Potions coming soon. Thoughts on Midnight Potions? And Supreme Victory Studios is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for making time in your day for me and the rest of the crew. Black Foil Potions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say that the Black Foil Potions you will actually need are not tradable now? Okay. So there's some people that originally were talking about the potions, you know, you could have land, you could make the permits, you could sell the permits, you would need a permit to make one of the work sites. I keep forgetting that word, work site, to be able to make the potions. But then at this point, are the potions just usable by you, or are you going to be able to actually sell those potions for a profit? That would make sense to me, but I seem to remember some kind of announcement that has been changed around. Let me know in chat. As far as Black Foil Potions going, I have everything changed over to grain, to producing whatever they are. I took off my SPS mining, and I took off my research when 1.75 dropped. And really what I've been doing is harvesting every 5 or 6 days and then steadily selling a certain percentage of grain. Let me see. As usual, you know, I'm not great at spreadsheets, but I like to keep track of what I'm doing just so if I want to talk about it on a video, I can talk about it. So just the last 2 sales, oh, my head's in the way. Okay, this is kind of better. So you can see that I've been harvesting, and then down here's where I'm keeping track of the sales. So my last 2 sales, you can see that the price, and I'm trying to keep my numbers the same so I can compare and contrast them. So the price over the last week for grain has went down slightly. The price for me, and like I said, this changes from day to day, minute to minute, you know. The price I got on wood has actually went up, and the price I got on iron has actually went up. So my approach to this has been kind of like my approach, whoops, wrong page. My approach to, what do I want to say? Buying SPS and DEC, okay? My approach has always been to buy a little bit a week over time instead of just blam, you know, buying this huge amount. So it's kind of along the whole idea of the dollar cost averaging, that kind of idea. So Gathering says, I may not be able to make midnight potions if the research cost for the deed is too high. Dwayne kicks in for the live reveal. Let's check out this. I've got my Archmage bot. I had it off for doing a video yesterday, and I forgot to turn it back on, so I pumped it back up to do 2 matches an hour to kind of get me, you know, use up some energy. And why is it not kicking in? Gathering says, it is cheaper for me to send my DEC to SPL Trader and use my DEC profits there to buy the wood or stone from the swap before. Interesting, or the swap feature. Interesting. I'd be interested in seeing a small kind of short video directly on that topic from you. Because that's a very valid point. You know, put all your DEC into, not investment advice. I always fall under, it's funny because I always kind of fall under whatever game I play. I always usually approach it with a moderated approach. In fact, you know, you're choosing your stats, you're choosing your investment in Splinterlands. I try to do a little bit in kind of just average it out. Some people like gathering, just like, I'm going to take everything from this bucket and put it into this bucket. That's not me, but I wish you luck. And so far, I need to refresh this. I don't know why it's not loading. Okay, so, oh, well, I'm facing the Lux. I'm history. Okay. And that's another big thing that's moving out of Modern. Lux is moving out of Modern. If I see Lux, if I see a good deal on Lux, I'm definitely going to buy. In fact, let's go ahead and see who wins this. Hey, I won. Imagine that. But I wanted to see, let's see if there's any deals on Lux, because I would love to have a Lux. It's easier. It's easy to sort for Lux, just neutral and summoner. Look at that, below $200. And you know what? I made a statement a couple weeks back that if I saw a Lux below $200, I would buy it. Oh my, oh my. I'm up against the fence. Okay, what's everybody talking about? Dwayne says permit not tradable, potion tradable. Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up. So you need the land to make your permit, and then you can make the potions, and then you can sell the potions. Okay, this gives people incentive to go ahead and buy some land if you want to produce those potions and try to get in on that. I anticipate those potions being pretty popular. However, I think, as with everything, it all just comes down to price. They're going to be pretty limited, and the price should stay up as far as I'm thinking, because the main thing that has driven the price of the other potions, I don't open up a lot of packs, and I get a lot of potions in various chests over the years. And look, I've been using potions just freely, you know, on all my chests I open lately, because I just have so many. Look, I have 2,700 of legendary potions and 1,300 alchemy potions. The nightmare potions are going to be much more limited. And I would imagine, whoops, wrong one. I would imagine the top dogs who are going to do a lot of pack opening to build out their deck to start off are going to be going to want these potions, right? So, but like I said, it all comes down to price. If they're too expensive and you're like, yeah, I mean, one black foil potion or one nightmare potion costs as much as a pack of cards, I'll just buy a second pack of cards. You know, it just comes down to cost. Merlin's Matrix agrees that potions are tradable, and so does Gathering. Dwayne says Bulldog had a video today. Black foil potions might be worth $1 each. Like I said, who knows? Those who are billed out and are the first on the scene to sell them will probably reap great rewards. Because there will be people that buy them to open their packs. And over time, it's just like anything else, I believe. We'll see more and more come on the market. The price will come down. Eventually, you'll see them moderate at whatever the floor or ceiling in the middle there. And we'll start seeing some numbers of what, on average, those are worth. But at the very beginning, just like whenever the set comes out, people start opening and throwing singles up on the market, they're going to command a huge price, right? So you just have to look at the price and say, like I said, you know, it's $4. Oh, potion is $4. Well, I'd rather just have a second pack, you know, so. And Gathering says you're right, and you need 5 per pack, so it's not just 1 per pack. Wibble says how much? Well, you know, Bulldog theorized $1, but who knows, you know. Let me say, you know, if you buy a pack, you know, say you buy the gold foil pack and it's $12, are you going to spend another $5 to have 5 potions for that? Just to have a double the chance to pull a black foil, which only pulls your chances up to, you know, it's still a minuscule chance, right? So, like I said, it all just comes down to cost. Well, let me further that statement. It all comes down to perceived value, right? Dwayne talks about this. I don't know if he's talked about this lately, but in his older videos, the value versus price. Price is one thing, value is another one. And perceived value is different per person. You just have to decide, does that have enough value to command the cost and you want to pay for it, right? But like I said, over time, I think it'll be just like everything else. At the very beginning, they'll be very pricey, and then the more liquidity on the market of them, the price will go down. That's just kind of marketing logic. Dwayne says, assuming that black foil is 5 times value of gold foil, the big question is, what's a black foil worth? Yeah, well, you know, as far as I know, gold foils still just come out as single BCX, right? Black foil is going to be a max card. So a black foil, not even though it has a 5 times multiplier from a gold foil, it still is a lot more BCX value than what a gold foil is. As far as I know. I don't think they've changed gold foils around to be max. So in other words, if you get a legendary black foil, that is worth 5 times what a gold foil is, but it's also worth 11 times what a gold foil is, because a gold foil is 1 BCX, right? So I don't know. You know me, I'm not great at the math. So the theorizing with the math, I try to stay out of it. I usually try to approach these from the play standpoint. And I love it from the play standpoint that if you get a black foil and it drops, I love the fact that they're going to do a system announcement. Will it be on at the very beginning? Who knows? But they talked about it. I love that. In a lot of games, you will see that where somebody gets something super cool drop right in a dungeon or something or other. And then there's like this announcement that comes across general chat or across the top of your screen or something like that. I love that, especially with people tracking the numbers on the cards and the collectability. You know, hey, I have a number 2 arcane skinwalker or whatever, and then generally moving up as the numbers are cleared. People keeping track of the collectability of the cards, and as you're moving through like the number 2s, you'll say, well, this card and this card was dropped. But the epic or the legendary hasn't been dropped yet. So, you know, the idea of, well, it's getting close to the end of the 2s and the legendary hasn't dropped. Maybe I should buy some more packs, you know, that kind of idea. So, Gathering says, magical plots really moved up in price. Floor is getting close to $40. Let's look at magical. Yeah, I mean, $35, $38. And look at these, you know, these are commons. And these are only commons, right? And looks like Wolf SL is selling some commons with work sites and some packages on them for about 38 bucks. I've been mostly looking at rares myself. But, you know, it comes to me, and I haven't read through the land white paper again for, you know, over probably a year now at this point. But in the general, remember when we looked at how everything was laid out? It will behoove everyone that is in the land game to have commons, okay? Because the way that I read it is that commons will be the primary land that you want to actually harvest stuff on, grain, iron, whatever, you know. And then when you move up to rare, those will be the plots that actually have bonuses to build buildings on and actually do something with those materials. Is it true that if you build a work site on a rare, you're going to get that 10% bonus? Sure. But as we move forward, if they actually go to what the white paper is saying, I think that people are going to start to move a lot of their production to the commons, and the rares and epics and legendaries will be used for other buildings and processes as these are developed. So just keep that in mind. So just because they're common doesn't mean they're not going to be useful in the future. So I think it will behoove everyone, even though I've lately been looking and buying rares, that commons will come in extremely useful in the future. But yeah, if you're mainly looking at doing those nightmare potions, then you're going to want to scoop up some magic lands. And the price, I think the price overall of everything is moving up. You know, we've got a general movement of standard commons going from the $10 up to $14. You know, Gathering does that video every other week on the Land Watch, Market Watch. But everything is moving up, and the cards you're putting on the land are moving up too, because people are buying cards for the different the new mode of play in the survival mode, which last week or last season I didn't do too good in. I was making an average of like 0.6 SPS per win on that very last day of the season, and basically I lost a lot of SPS by switching over to survival. But I want to try, I'll probably try it one more week, but just to give you an average, you know, when I'm in let's see here, I'm currently in Diamond 3. We just began the season a few days ago though. But in Diamond 3, you know, I'm making 4 SPS, you know, as I move up. You know, I'm making 5 and 6 SPS per win. That's a huge pay loss as far as I'm concerned. But I wanted to try out Survival. Survival is obviously aimed at those folks that have huge card collections, especially summoners, which I am not one of them. But I wanted to be able to say I tried it out. So Gathering says, let's see here, black foil equals max beta version times 2, I would say, and $40 to $65 average for max beta commons. So I would put the black foil commons at $75 to $125, and probably more than that to start right off before we get, you know, at any point in the set, black foils are going to be highly limited in numbers, and people are going to be able to throw those on the market and ask whatever they want. Whether they actually sell is another question, right? I imagine there'll be some of the top dogs like Matt and some of the other people that will actually spend a pretty penny at the very beginning to scoop up those black foils. And there'll be some people that want a black foil set, which will be able to buy, you know, they'll have to spend a lot of money on them though. Gathering says, I can't wait to see all the pack opening videos, especially the alchemy and legendary ones. Jabby Saints is here. Hey. Why aren't you in the latest town hall? I was not invited. I didn't hear about it. Alex T is here. Welcome, Alex. Thanks for dropping by. The move is buying packs and holding them until the end of the airdrop and slowly buy potions over time as they get cheaper. Yeah. I mean, there's a, you know, I think they talked about it on that show where, you know, the evolution is it's you either want the cards right up front to start playing with them and selling them or whatever, or you want to wait until later in the set and have a better chance. And to me, that's well designed, right? So you're keeping the buy pressure on the packs over the lifetime of the actual set. So. Banana says, all my cards are number 2s based on my win rate. Skyr NJ is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Dwayne says, you're right. Gold foils are not max level. So in order to compare a gold foil to a black foil, you need to imagine a max gold foil. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Max black foil might be 5 times value of max gold foil. That's my best guess. Yeah, well, I mean, just taken into consideration, if let's go into the market and go into buy cards. Let's clear this and let's sort by gold and then go to legendaries. And let's just take Rebellion Core, for example. This is the first guy. So this is a Chaos Golem. There's no I was looking for a max. Either way. So this is a legendary. Starts out at level 2, about $50, right? But you're going to need 4 of this to be able to make a max level. So if you drop or if a black foil drops for you, it's immediately, bam, 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 or 4. You only need 4. So it's immediately that, it's immediately this number instead of this number value. Okay. So there are other pluses to getting the black foil. You put on land, you get 5 times the value, etc. production points. But right out of the gate, this is worth, a number of gold foils. A black foil is. So I just wanted to get that clear because you have to compare apples to apples, so to speak. Gathering says common lands should be used for refining, storage, and production, rares and up for harvesting. Interesting. I'm going to have to go back and read the white paper because I may differ on that with you because otherwise my memory is going. Because I could have swore that from the reading of the white paper, the commons. I'll check it out. We'll talk about it next week. Lady Sharon's here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Sharon. Hello. Stopping in to like and support. Thank you very much. Or let me see. Do my Elvis. Thank you very much. We'll be there tomorrow if you still have an Atlas Earth stream. I do. I picked it back up. I was only off for 1 week. It's been very popular doing a Atlas Earth themed stream on Sundays at noon. If anybody wants to stop by, if you play Atlas Earth. Mom and I are going to the later church service, less crowded. Well, have fun and happy Easter. Wibble says, need to get silver in survival for good earnings. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say that. The trick is getting to silver. Jordan Leonard is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Love to see new names. Has there been word if the Rebellion reward cards will be stopped when Arcana drops? There has not been word, and there's been no word of when the new reward set is scheduled. As far as I know, I haven't heard it mentioned. They did kind of briefly discuss it a few weeks ago or a few town halls ago, and kind of what I foresee is probably more towards the fall. They will start talking about that, and that's more of an item for the fall time frame, because they want to get this set out before they even start talking about another set. They need to get this card major set out and then get it up and running and get a lot of everything, the card pack, pre-card pack sales, all the reward cards, all those things ironed out and out to the public before they even start thinking about a new reward card set. So, and I can use that time because I haven't maxed out my cards. I know there's people that pop on, hey, I've got max level cards. We should have a new set. There's a lot of us that haven't, right? Still working on it. Wibble says, how is everyone doing in RavenQuest? I am having fun in RavenQuest. I've been playing it on a nightly basis. Some nights, only for an hour. I try to get on and do my 3 daily quests just to rack up some of that quest token on a weekly basis. You do your quests and you improve your character's standing in game, and you get more quest token on a weekly dropped on a weekly basis. And if you're playing, make sure you get in a guild, because you start getting a guild chest if you do that as well. And if you're in a guild, I put down that it was less than $20 to buy a guild crest. You start getting even more quest tokens. So topic for a different discussion. I do need to do another RavenQuest video though, because I'm progressing. I'm 34, almost to level 35. Been playing about an hour to 2 hours a night. On Saturday I can play a little bit longer. It's one of those games for me that if I don't watch the clock, I'll play way too long. Banana says, yeah, it's never worked that way before. The Chaos Legion cards were available well into Rebellion. Yeah. I mean, it's just in theory. You got to think about the card sets, how much work goes into them for what is a relatively small development team. So they've got to work on one job at a time, right? Get that job released, iron out all the wrinkles, and everything comes out. Nothing's going to be perfect. There are going to be some issues that have to be ironed out, and get everything moving smoothly with the new set before the next set is even talked about. So I'm sure they've probably got things in development, but it's going to be a while. I would think my best guess is during the fall timeframe. We will, late summer to fall, and this is just a guess, we'll start hearing about it. So I'm still working on maxing out my set, and I don't know why this is taking so long. Is this person going to drop from the match? Supreme Victory Studio says May 13th is going to be amazing. Chaos Legion vibes in the house. Yeah, they surrendered. That's why it was taking so long. So I earned 4.6 SPS and 776 glint. You know what I haven't done is I haven't bought anything on the shop. What should I buy on the shop? Some chests, some rewards, some merits. I always buy some merits on a weekly basis. I've been buying like 3 levels, 3 batches of merits. Not that this is turning into a glint spending stream, but I just had remembered I hadn't bought anything this week yet. And this is another thing that I haven't maxed out yet, Joffrey Jones is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Joffrey. I always appreciate your input. Let's go back to shop and then guild store. That's what I was looking for. So I got 3 more Gladius cases. Saving those up. I usually get like 25 and then do an opening. Here a few weeks back, I had saved up to like 100 and done a big opening. Let's do a legendary. Let's see. How much do I got? I got half a mil. Let's do 10 legendaries. See what I get. Of course, use potions. I've been concentrating on epics for most of the set. Let's do a reveal. Oh, I love to see that shake it. Let's get a gold foil. Wouldn't it be cool to get a gold foil live on stream? I still need to max out my Surly Drunk. Love Grifsy. I love most of these. Oh, hey, there you go. Gold foil Endless Gibbon. Not arguing whatsoever. Let's go back to items. Card collection, clear, and rebellion reward. And I don't think I have too many gold foils. Let's see here. I passed this up. Okay, so these are the gold foils I have so far. How many legendaries? Is that the first legend? That's the first legendary gold foil I have. Let's switch over to regular. My commons are all level 9. I'm chugging through that that level 9 to level 10. Okay, let's go ahead and do a combine here. See where my legendaries sit. Still no level 4s. I've got several level 3s though. Warborn Chieftain, Gallicus, Grifsy, Death Ranger. I like Death Ranger, especially in all range. I love, love is a strong word, but in all range matches, I usually stack, I'll stack somebody with close range. I forgot what it was called, right behind the tank. So when the tank goes down, I have a secondary tank. So Joffrey Jones says he's sporting a level 51 Shade Striker in RavenQuest. Nice. Been putting some time into that. After like level 30, it takes a while to keep leveling up, you know. It's old school leveling. Dwayne says next set will be Foundation set. New SBRCs will be sometime. Yeah, they had talked about the Foundation set. I didn't know necessarily what the timing of those was, but yeah, that's definitely coming up. Banana says, I always buy merits too because my gladiators are far from maxed. Yeah, I do that too. It's been I've used that when they become available from the the older method of just playing in your brawls, but I'm still not maxed out. That has been one of the let's just go to these. So as you can see, well, those are, you can see that even my legendaries, level 1, level 2, and I've been collecting these since they came out, you know. But even the commons, you know, I'm still just like level 6, 7, you know. Love Katroba. There's no way Katroba is a common. Tell me why. Tell me why Katroba is a common. This is going back to my argument about you never know when cards come out in a set how their play value is going to be until you've played with them for a while, right? Gathering says, I'm actually buying potions with Glint to get enough for my CA packs. Nice. Good plan. Banana says, yeah, I barely have any potions because I keep buying those cheap Chaos Legion packs. I have a number set aside, just kind of saving. It has crossed my mind to buy, you know, like 100 packs or something like that and open them to strictly try to get cards to help my land out. Has crossed my mind. I haven't done it yet, though. Gathering says there was a gold foil given on the market a month or two ago for $100,000. Nice. Maybe I should try that. But once again, you can list it for whatever you want to. Are you going to sell it? That's another question. Banana says Death Ranger sounds like a cool band, kind of like Night Ranger from the 80s, but much different type of music. Merlin's Matrix says, will they release the Foundation set within the next week? I don't know about the timing on that. Dwayne said that it's going to come out after Conclave Arcana. The way they've talked about it, it's kind of in production at the same time. So it wouldn't be surprised if it came out. It wouldn't surprise me if it came out pretty much, you know, not too long after Conclave Arcana came out, because it was the whole, it's part of the whole plan of improving the game for the new player aspect approach. So they're trying to line that all up in order to kind of hit back to back to back so that they can press with some marketing, you know. So Gathering says thoughts on, and I know I'm over by a few minutes, but some good questions coming in. Thoughts on, hey, Bolts 85's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Thoughts on the pack sales. I think I fall in with how a lot of other people are thinking. I think the standard packs, if anything sells out, the standard packs have the best possibility of selling out. Obviously, the starter packs are not available in the pre-sale. I think the higher priced packs won't sell out. I think we'll see a variety, you know, who knows? It's all a guess. But I think that the standard packs are going to be the most popular. So with that said, we're at the bottom of the hour. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. As always, I appreciate the time you spend with me. This has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And look forward to later today, a video coming out from me with a new card, courtesy of Blaze, who provided to me during this stream. So I have to work on something and get it out. Sorry for those who are waiting on me to reveal it, but I feel that it deserves its own video in and of itself. So I hope you all have a good weekend, and for those who observe it, happy Easter. This has been Bronze Dragon. I'll see you next week.